The sky above the small research colony on planet Zafara was a strange shade of green. Strange clouds moved in patterns humans had never seen before, and 3 suns lit the horizon in soft, golden light. The Zorvans, the alien race who ruled this world, had watched this human settlement from their hovering city for weeks. They were curious. They were also confident. "You see," said Zarn, a senior Zorvan observer, his long fingers moving across a glowing screen, "humans are small, their bodies are weak, they have no natural weapons, and they depend on simple tools. There is nothing to fear." His colleague Vexa nodded, but with a hint of amusement. Yes. They struggle to lift heavy objects. Their machines are primitive. I do not understand why the Council worries about them at all." From above, a drone hovered silently near the colony. It was small, almost invisible, recording every detail. Humans were unpredictable, the Zorvans thought, but still limited. They could anticipate humans' movements easily, or so they believed. Inside the colony, humans were busy at work. Dr. Elena Hart, the team leader, was examining a small rock sample that shimmered strangely in Zafara's sunlight. She handed it to her assistant, Mark, who carefully placed it on the table. Suddenly, Mark tripped over a cable. The rock sample, sharp and heavy, slipped from his hands. It fell, spinning, and a small metal instrument fell, right after it, a tiny knife the team used for precise cuts. Time seemed to slow for the Zorvans as they watched through the drone. The humans did not panic. Mark froze for a moment. But then, without thinking, he reached out and caught the falling knife mid-air. He twisted his hand so he would not hurt himself, and then calmly set it down on the table. Zarn leaned forward, his eyes wide. "What did he just do?" he whispered. Vexa's mouth opened slightly. "He caught it with his bare hand. That is impossible. I calculated the probability. It should have been a disaster. Yet," he reacted instantly. "Our extabularm. I calculated the problem." The drone zoomed in to get a better view. Another human, Elena, helped Mark regain balance. They smiled, laughing as if nothing had happened. The Zorvans watched in silence, their confidence shaken. Zarn tapped his screen. "Our models, they fail. We cannot predict this reaction. His reflexes are beyond anything our data shows." Vexa frowned. "Is it instinct? But how can instinct be so precise?" The humans continued their work, unaware of the silent observers above. They moved through the lab, talking softly, sharing ideas, and solving problems. Every small action seemed natural to them, but was extraordinary to the aliens. "Do they know we are watching?" Zarn asked. "Perhaps," Vexa replied. "But they do not care. That is what frightens me. Their calm. It is not fear. It is confidence. And confidence in beings so weak? Illogical." The Zorvans hovered in thought. They had never seen a creature that could react so quickly and so calmly to a dangerous situation. Their technology allowed them to predict outcomes with almost perfect accuracy, but humans seemed to break every rule. As the suns moved across the sky, the humans took a break. Elena and Mark walked outside, stretching their legs. A light wind carried the scent of alien flora, sweet and sharp at the same time. The Zorvans observed silently, noting the humans' every step. "They are unpredictable," Zarn said quietly. "Our simulations cannot prepare for this. We underestimated them." Vexa's tentacle twitched nervously. "Perhaps they are not as weak as we thought. Perhaps they are dangerous in ways we cannot measure." The humans laughed again, talking about the day's experiments. They had no idea that their simple lives were being studied by beings far more advanced than they were. Suddenly, a small accident happened near the edge of the lab. A metal beam had been improperly secured. It began to tip, slowly falling toward a human worker. The Zorvans held their breath, expecting the human to run, to panic. But instead, the worker saw it falling, stepped aside calmly, and caught it with both hands, guiding it to the ground safely. The aliens were stunned. Twice, in one day, humans had reacted with skill, precision, and calm that no alien technology had predicted. "This is not natural," Zarn whispered. "It is not supposed to happen." Vexa looked at him, her glowing eyes wide. "We must report this to the council. Humans are not simple. They are something else entirely." As night fell over the colony, the humans returned to their quarters, tired but happy with their work. The Zorvans remained in the sky, hidden, watching. They were no longer sure of themselves. A small seed of doubt had entered their minds. For the first time, the aliens realized that humans were not just fragile creatures. Their reflexes, their instincts, their ability to adapt in an instant, they were unpredictable in ways that no machine or strategy could measure. "They may be weak," Zarn said quietly, almost to himself, "but they are dangerous. Not with weapons, but with themselves, their minds, their reflexes, their courage." Vexa nodded. "If one human can act like this, what will an entire colony do? What will a species do when they realize their full potential?" The Zorvans stayed long into the night, silent and thoughtful. They had believed humans were no threat. Now, they were beginning to see that they might have underestimated a species that could survive, adapt, and react in ways no alien could imagine. And far below, the humans slept, unaware that their simple, everyday actions had already begun to change the way an entire alien civilization viewed them. The morning sun rose over Zafara, and a 19 round, casting long shadows across the human colony. The Zorvans had made their decision. They would learn more about humans not through destruction, but through observation and careful testing. Their curiosity had grown into cautious respect. High above the colony, in the heart of the Zorvan city, Zarn and Vexa discussed their plan. "We will invite them," Zarn said. "We will offer friendship. But under the surface, we will observe their reactions carefully. Every movement, every decision, everything matters." Vexa nodded. "We must see how far their abilities go. Their reflexes are already beyond our prediction. Now, let us see their mind, their teamwork." A small fleet of Zorvan ships descended quietly near the human landing zone. The humans watched in awe as sleek, silver ships hovered silently, lights glowing softly. They were cautious, but curious. Captain Elena stepped forward, confident. "Greetings," she said. "We are ready to talk." The Zorvan's leader, a tall figure with luminous skin and many eyes, responded in a calm voice. "Welcome. We invite you to our city for discussion and learning. Please come with us." The humans nodded and boarded the ships, unaware that these peaceful words hid tests designed to push them to their limits. Inside the city, the Zorvans created controlled scenarios to examine human reactions. In one room, a small, hovering drone zipped suddenly toward a human scientist. Its path unpredictable. The other humans froze for a fraction of a second, but then, instinct took over. Mark reached out and caught the drone mid-flight, holding it safely. Elena quickly guided him to place it on a stand, preventing damage. The Zorvans watched closely, their antennas twitching. "How?" One whispered. No one could react that fast. Then, another test began. Energy fields appeared randomly across the floor, small jets of force trying to push the humans off balance. A sharp instrument hovered in mid-air, spinning slowly. The humans glanced at each other, silently understanding the situation. Without panic, they moved together. Elena gestured, and the humans coordinated their steps perfectly, avoiding the fields while catching the floating instrument. They used teamwork and quick thinking, sometimes bouncing off walls, sometimes helping each other balance. The Zorvans were astonished. "They do not panic," Vexa murmured. "They are calm, and yet their actions are precise. It is not possible." Zarn leaned forward. "Their brain works faster than our machines. Their instincts are beyond calculation. We cannot predict them. They are extraordinary." The humans continued to face one test after another. In one chamber, the floor began to tilt unexpectedly. A series of rods fell from above. The humans jumped, ducked, and caught some rods, using the rods to steady each other. Every action was instinctive and quick. Outside, the Zorvans communicated quietly among themselves. "We have underestimated them," one said. "They are not weak. They are unpredictable. And unpredictability is dangerous." Vexa nodded slowly. "It is not their strength that worries me. It is their mind, their reflexes, their teamwork. If one can act like this, imagine an entire species united." Meanwhile, Elena noticed something. Each test had a pattern, however subtle. "They are trying to observe us," she whispered. "I think they are not just testing our reflexes. They want to see how we think, how we plan, how we work together." The humans decided to turn the tests into a game of strategy. Whenever an obstacle appeared, they used clever tricks, sometimes diverting energy fields with tools, sometimes using walls to guide flying objects safely to the floor. Every move surprised the Zorvans even more. Zarn could not hide his concern. Every calculation fails. Their instincts are flawless. Their planning, elegant and fast. This is alarming. Vexa added quietly. "We must warn the Council. Humans, they are not what we thought. They are unpredictable, clever, and capable of things we cannot imagine. If one of them acts together with others, we are not prepared." The humans faced a final challenge, a room filled with dozens of floating objects, knives, rods, and small machines, was suddenly activated. The challenge was simple for the Zorvans. Throw chaos at the humans and see if they fail. But the humans did not panic. Elena's eyes swept the room. She gave a small nod, and the humans moved like one organism. They dodged, caught, and redirected objects with precision. Each person helped the other, guiding movements, predicting paths. One of them even used a hovering knife to block a small drone, saving another human from a collision. The Zorvans were silent. They could not understand how humans could remain calm and act so quickly in a dangerous environment. Their skill. "It is not natural," Zarn whispered. Vexa's antennae twitched nervously. "They are chaos. Controlled chaos. We cannot simulate it, cannot anticipate it, cannot stop it. And yet, they thrive in it. That is terrifying." After the final test, the humans left the chambers unharmed, smiling and talking quietly. They were tired but proud of their teamwork. The Zorvans studied them in awe. "They may appear small and weak," Zarn said, "but in their minds, in their reflexes, they are formidable. We cannot fight them with technology alone. Their unpredictability makes them a force no machine can handle." Vexa nodded. "It is not their weapons we should fear. It is their courage, their teamwork, their instincts. They are remarkable and dangerous in ways we never imagined." As the humans returned to their temporary quarters in the Zorvan city, unaware of the deep respect and fear they had inspired, Zarn and Vexa looked at each other. A quiet truth settled between them. Underestimating humans was a mistake. One day, the Zorvans realized, humans might not just survive, They might outthink, outmaneuver, and outlast them. And that day could come sooner than anyone expected. For now, the humans rested. But the Zorvans had learned one simple truth. A human, working with others, could achieve things no alien machine or plan could predict. And that was a discovery that changed everything. The suns of Zafara shone brightly over the alien city. The humans had slept well after a long day of tests, unaware that the Zorvans had been watching them closely. The aliens had learned much about human reflexes, teamwork, and intelligence. But one final test remained not of strength, but of strategy and mind. Zarn and Vexa stood in the observation chamber, their glowing eyes fixed on the humans. "We have tested their reflexes," Zarn said. "We have seen their instincts. But now, we must see their mind. Can they think faster than our technology? We think. We must see. We must see. We must see." Vexa shook her head slowly. "If they can, we will have to reconsider everything. They may be small, but their power lies not in size or weapons. It lies in unpredictability." The humans were called to a large chamber, a space filled with floating platforms, moving lights, and hovering objects. The room was a puzzle, a maze of challenges designed to confuse, block, and trap them. But the humans were calm. They looked at each other, nodded, and started moving. Elena was at the front. She noticed the pattern. Some objects followed random paths, but others had a small delay in movement. She whispered to Mark, "We can use that. Watch their timing. We can predict just enough to stay safe." The humans split into two groups, covering more ground while helping each other. Whenever an object threatened one person, another would intercept, push it to safety, or guide it away. They moved like a single organism, silent communication passing between them with gestures and eye contact. The Zorvans observed silently, awe and disbelief growing with each second. They are thinking, predicting, and acting faster than any of our machines, Vexa said, her voice low. "No simulation can match this. No algorithm can match this. Thanks for watching." And Argonware, on the spart. Then, a surprise element was introduced. From the ceiling, dozens of small, sharp objects began to drop unpredictably. The humans paused for a split second, and then instinct and strategy took over. Elena grabbed one of the objects mid-air, spinning it to block another. Mark used his hands to deflect a small hovering drone that threatened to hit another human. Every movement was precise, careful, and fast. Every human was protecting another, thinking not just of themselves but of the team. Zarn turned to Vexa, a rare shadow of fear in his eyes. "If this is just one team, imagine what an entire human population could do. Imagine their cities, their armies, if they act with this instinct and intelligence." Vexa nodded, her body slightly trembling. "We underestimated them. We assumed weakness. We assumed predictability. But humans are chaos. Controlled chaos. And that is something we cannot calculate or fight." The humans reached the center of the chamber, where a large energy core floated, pulsing and spinning slowly. It was a challenge the Zorvans thought would stop them, but Elena studied it and noticed something. The core responded to movement and touch in a specific rhythm. "Follow me," she said. "We can control it, guide it safely, and complete the test together." One by one, the humans approached the core, carefully redirecting its energy pulses and spinning mechanisms. They worked together, covering each other, predicting risks before they happened. Slowly, the energy core stabilized, glowing calmly instead of dangerously. The Zorvans gasped. They solved it without injury, without error, without hesitation, Zarn said. His tone was full of awe. And they did it together. Coordinated, instinctive, clever. They are extraordinary, Vexa added softly. It is not their size. It is not their weapons. It is their mind, their teamwork, their instinct. They can adapt in ways we cannot even imagine. That is dangerous. The humans smiled and helped each other leave the chamber, tired but victorious. They had no idea of the profound impact their actions had on the observing aliens. Zarn turned to Vexa, voice quiet but firm. We must inform the council. Humans are not weak. They are unpredictable, clever, and capable of working as one unit. Any thought of underestimating them is over. We cannot fight them with technology alone. Their mind, their instincts, their courage, it is beyond anything we have faced. Vexa nodded. We must respect them, not as a threat in the usual sense, but as beings we cannot predict or control. Any conflict with them would be foolish. Back in the human quarters, Elena and her team packed their gear. I think we passed their tests, Mark said, laughing softly. But I have a feeling they learned more than we did. Elena smiled, thoughtful. Maybe. But that is okay. We only need to survive, work together, and stay calm. That is what makes us strong. No matter who watches. High above, the Zorvans made their decision. They would leave the humans in peace for now. They would respect their skills, their courage, and their unpredictability. They had come to understand that humans were not just fragile creatures, they were a species capable of surprising even the most advanced civilizations. As the humans prepared to return to their research on Zafara, the Zorvans observed silently, a quiet awe settling over them. For the first time in their history, they had seen a species that could act with instinct, intelligence, and teamwork in a way that no alien machine or plan could predict. Zarn turned to Vexa and said, if humans ever unite fully, if they ever face us on equal terms, we must be ready. Not with weapons, but with understanding. Their power lies not in what we can see, but in what we cannot predict. Vexa's eyes glowed softly. Yes, today, we learned a lesson. Never underestimate humans. They are small, yet mighty. Fragile, yet formidable. Weak, yet impossible to ignore. The humans left the city, unaware of the full impact they had made. They laughed, shared stories, and planned for the next day of work. They were just humans, living their lives. But above them, the Zorvans had realized something important. Humans were not a species to control or dismiss. They were a species to respect, and perhaps even fear, in the best possible way. The suns of Zafara set, painting the sky with colors no human had ever named. And for the first time, the aliens who ruled that world knew that in the simple, everyday actions of humanity, catching knives, saving each other, thinking fast, there was a strength they could not measure, a power they could not contain, and a future they could not predict. Humans had proven, without a single battle, that courage, teamwork, and instinct could make them extraordinary. And the Zorvans understood. They were in trouble because humans were far stronger than anyone had imagined.